Jill, how much do we know about this new rule? How clear are we?
Hey, morning, Haslinda. So at this point, this is actually a fairly significant change. As you just outlined, under the current rules for these F&J visas, I will point out there's about 1.5 million students that are in the United States on these types of visas. They're allowed to stay sort of as long as their studies last. It's very different from other forms of non-immigrant visas in the United States. And so as long as they're enrolled in sort of the minimum number of credits that they need at these universities, they can stay. Under this new rule, though, as you just mentioned, this imposes a 4-year limit. Before then, if they need to stay in the United States for longer to continue their studies, they actually have to go and seek more duration of time. They have to seek an extension, provide some biometric data, and basically, it's sort of handle this in a way where previously maybe their universities would have helped coordinate this. But again, this does impose a pretty significant barrier here. So very, very, very different change.
It's a different change. Who is it likely to hit the worst? I mean, we know that lots of Chinese and Indian students in the U.S.
Yes, exactly right. So I would expect this to, looking at China, South Korea, India, as you mentioned, those students that, are, from these nations where there are a lot of them in the United States. Look, Haslinda, there's already been a fair amount of tightening going on over visa restrictions for people coming into the United States to study and in other capacities. We actually saw last year a 1.4% drop in the overall number of foreign students enrolled in universities, including a 17% drop in the number of incoming students. So, you're looking at a pretty significant number there. And that's in addition to various other forms of, either visa scrutiny restrictions that are kind of going on here. There's been, some delays in terms of applications. And so all of that is kind of contributing to this environment where you are seeing a pretty significant number, a smaller number of students that are actually coming into the United States to study.
And in the end, Jill, you can only imagine that fewer and fewer international students would find the U.S. an attractive place to go to school.
Yeah, this is something that, we've been seeing for a few years now. Obviously, the United States under the Trump administration has taken a much stricter approach to immigration policy. So we are seeing that sort of manifest in various forms. Obviously, that sort of extends to a broader approach toward immigration enforcement that the Trump administration is looking at. But yes, student visas is obviously a significant part of that. So it does raise questions about, sort of the ability of a lot of these, major universities to attract foreign students who are paying quite high tuition fees when they visit.
To some fraud investigations as well, right?
Yes, that's right. So there's a program, the OTP program, that's one that's, under, sort of investigation for fraud. And so, again, does raise the possibility that while you do have these new visa restrictions that are being instituted on those applications right now, does raise that question of whether or not there's going to be further tightening on the types of visas that students and programs that students can achieve in the future in the United States.